Let me guess. Sometimes you're working 60, maybe even 70-hour weeks consistently. And yet all of a sudden, growth has started to slow down and your profit is beginning to disappear. You are putting in so many hours. You are on all of the meetings, making all of the decisions, making sure everything moves forward. But even as you're putting in more and more time, the business is starting to give you back less and less. If that's sounding familiar, then this is the video for you, because we are going to break down the hidden reasons that your business is starting to stall out and that your profit is leaking out of your business before you can get to it. Here's my promise, is that it's time for you to start getting paid like an owner and for the hours and the work that you are putting in. And in fact, if we do this right, you're going to start getting paid more and more for working less and less. Let's fix this. So there are hidden profit centers inside of your business. These are the places where right now in this moment, hidden profit is leaking out of your company before you can take it off the table. And we're gonna go through these one by one. So the first hidden profit center actually exists inside of your time. If you're putting 60 hours a week into your business, let's say, what is the ROI that you are getting back from every single hour? Are you spending out of those 60 hours, half of them on tasks that could or should be delegated for $10 an hour, $20 an hour, maybe even $30 an hour, when the hourly value of your time as a qualified high growth founder is closer to $100, $150, $200 an hour? Let's just break down the math of this really quick. Let's say that your time is worth $100 an hour. Let's be conservative, $100 an hour, and you're spending 10 hours a week doing $10 an hour tasks, right? Answering small emails and sending out client invoices and doing all this little stuff that if we just had a really capable executive assistant, we could get that off our plate for 10, 15 bucks an hour. Okay, so with the same hour of time, you are producing $10 an hour or $100 an hour. That $90 gap is a profit loss. That is very real growth, very real revenue, very real value that you could be bringing to your business if you are spending your time on the highest value activities, the things that really move the needle on your business and on your revenue. And instead, that same exact input, that same exact hour of time is being used to produce a client FAQ, an invoice that gets sent, or a dropped ball that gets picked up. So one of the reasons that profit is disappearing, even though you're putting in more and more and more hours, is because you're spending more hours on less valuable things. And if instead we can take that same set of hours, get it off of the low value tasks that, yes, are important, they do need to be done, they just don't need to be done by you, and instead get those things off your plate and reallocate your time so it's being spent appropriately on the high value tasks, you will immediately unlock profit. Why? Because it doesn't cost you anything to simply shift focus, to simply go from the $10 an hour task to the $100 an hour task and create $90 an hour in value creation for every single hour of your time. That is value creation that gets to happen inside of your business for no cost, aka profit. So that's the first hidden profit center. Where are you as a leader and your leadership team using your time? And are you using your time on the right value of task? Because if we're working more and more hours on less and less valuable things, that's where we're gonna see the imbalance between the amount of effort you're putting in and the amount of profit you're getting out. So that's hidden profit center number one. Hidden profit number two lies inside of your strategy. So this is how I explain it to marketers. Imagine your Facebook ads, right? And imagine if all the time you're consistently launching new ads, right? New strategies, new creatives, new ad sets. You're trying and testing things all of the time to see what works. And some things work well and produce a really high ROI, and some things totally flop and burn all your ad spend, right? We know this to be true. But now imagine, for whatever reason, that we weren't looking. We weren't checking at the level of the ad and at the level of the ad set and looking at which of these ads is actually producing the highest ROI on my ad spend. So we're not looking at it. And because we're not looking at it, we don't actually know which ad sets are performing, are our top performers and are crushing it for us and producing all of our ROI, and which ad sets are just burning a hole in our ad spend and producing no return as a result. And because we're not looking at it and we don't know which ad sets are actually performing, we don't turn any of them off. We just keep running ads, and then we just keep launching new and different ads and trying to spread our ad spend thinner and thinner and thinner across all these new ads that we're launching all of the time, instead of turning off the ad sets that just aren't performing. That would be crazy, right? Like, that would be crazy. That would be a stupid, crazy way to run your ads. That is exactly how I see most founders running their strategy, except instead of ads, it's offers. So what we most often see is founders that are consistently launching offer after offer after offer, but not going back to look at the analytics and ask themselves the question, which of these offers is generating the most profit? Not revenue, right? They might all be driving a lot of revenue, but profit. Which of these are giving me an ROI on my ad spend? And ad spend in this metaphor is your team's time and energy, and your time and energy. Which of your offers are using up the most amount of team resources and producing the least amount of ROI, aka profit? So when we're not measuring profit per offer, profit per product, profit per service, maybe this is profit per client type or client tier. When we aren't measuring these things, it's like we have all these ad sets going, and all we're doing is once a month taking a look at our entire Facebook account and being like, yep, still profitable. Might as well leave them all running. And while we're at it, let's launch 5 new ones, right? As opposed to getting down to the level of the ad set, the level of the offer, and asking the question, which of these offers is actually generating the most profit? And then doubling down on those. And this is the hard part, shutting down the offers, the ad sets that aren't producing an ROI. We actually have to turn things off. We have to stop doing the things that are costing us all of our team's time and energy, but not producing a return, and take all that time and energy and reinvest it into the ad sets that are our true top performing winners. So when you start to run your offer stack the way that you run your ads, you will immediately free up profit. You will shut down the underperforming offers that might be producing great top line revenue, but are not producing profit. And we can eliminate those, reallocate our resources towards the top performing offers that are actually driving all of our profit, double down on those, and then iterate and test and launch new offers from there. So take that incredible marketing strategy, apply it to your offers, and you will immediately free up time and energy, shut down the things that aren't working, and you will create an enormous amount of profit in your business as soon as you do so. Which brings us to hidden profit center number 3, which is in data, right? In order for me to know which ad sets to keep on and which ad sets to turn off, I need to have the data that is telling me how much these things are costing and how profitable they are. I actually can't know that just by gut checking it, especially the bigger and bigger my company gets. I need data that is helping me track profit per offer, profit per client tier, and I need to make sure that if a offer isn't as profitable as it needs to be, we're looking at that and we're asking the question, do we turn this off, or how do we make it more profitable? How do we bring down the cost of delivering on it? Or the really easy hack, how do we price it so that it is profitable? This is the easiest hidden profit hack that lies in wait inside of your business. It's incredibly simple. You ready for it? Increase prices. That's it. Just increase your prices, because it doesn't cost you anything to increase your prices, right? You don't have to hire any new people. You don't have to run any new ads. You don't have to do anything to all of a sudden start making more money for the same amount of work. Again, the gap between how much money you make and how much it costs you to produce, that is profit. And so if we're going from this amount of profit, and just by increasing our pricing, we are going to this amount of profit, you have created profit inside of your business for free. But again, you can't make these decisions without the data. Without the data helping you see at what price point will this be profitable, and what offers should we continue to run versus shut down versus double down and go all in on. The data is going to start to make these decisions for you. So what do we need to have data? This brings us to hidden profit center number 4, which is systems, right? We need systems to consistently collect and analyze data. We need a system in order to do that. Most often, When me and my team go into a client's business and we're trying to identify where is their profit leaking out of the company, most often it is leaking out through outdated systems. Systems that used to work, systems that were awesome, like that spreadsheet with all of your clients and all your client pricing on it. Amazing when you had 15 clients, but now you have 50 clients, 70 clients, and that spreadsheet has become a terrifying monster that is practically unusable and causes you stress streams. There's an awesome quote from the book Atomic Habits where James Clear says, "We do not rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems." So if your goals are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you are working harder and harder to drive towards those goals, but you're not hitting them, and you're wondering why, it's because we do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. Our systems have to grow and evolve as our goals do. Otherwise, we're trying to make up for the gap between our goals and our systems with sheer work ethic, with sweat equity, which again, as we've already covered, means that you're going to be spending more and more of your time doing lower value things, which is costing you money, costing you profit, and the whole cycle repeats itself. So what's the fix for this? As our company grows, our systems must grow. It's really that simple. As our team gets bigger, as our company gets more complex, we have to be continuously leveling up and evolving our systems to keep pace with our rate of growth. Because otherwise, a lack of system or an outdated system is going to start to drag more and more of our time into the day-to-day weeds to compensate for the difference. On the flip side, if you install the right system, you immediately create profit. You free up time that you now get to reinvest into higher value activities for free. And not just your time, but your team's time. Your team now gets to run that much more productively, that much more efficiently. And all of the time that they were wasting running around, tracking down information, picking up dropped balls, figuring out like where the heck are we at even with this client, all of that time gets saved and reallocated into the things that they should be doing to actually make you money. And again, remember, this is time that you've already paid for. Like you've already paid your team to show up and work 8 hours a day. So what is the ROI you're getting not just on your own time, but their time? Are your salespeople spending all of their time just knocking out sales calls instead of following up with leads when an automation could have done that, or inputting KPIs when the data system should be tracking that? Are your client success managers spending all of their time building client relationships and creating client retention instead of running around through Slack trying to figure out what the payment plan was for that client that we closed 3 months ago? So the systems are what allow your team to be as productive, aka profitable, as possible. And if you're seeing your company grow but your profit shrink, I can almost guarantee your systems are not keeping up with your rate of growth. So I gotta take a quick pause because I imagine this is a little bit overwhelming. I am throwing a ton at you, right? Is it my time? Is it my team? Is it my leadership? Is it my data? Is it my systems? Is it all of it? Where the heck is my profit leaking out of my business right this second? Fear not. I actually went ahead and built a profit finder. This is a quick survey audit. It will take 10 minutes or less, and it is going to go through every single one of these hidden profit centers inside of your business and diagnose exactly where and why profit is leaking out of your company right this second, so you know which of these centers to focus on first and what actions you can start taking tomorrow to start reclaiming some of this hidden profit back from your business before it falls through the cracks. So there you go. It's totally free. The Profit Finder, you can grab it in the link below, and it will help guide you through your whole business and essentially just tell you, where do I start? So that is a free gift from me to you. Take it, enjoy it. I know it will make you more profitable. Before we wrap up here, I just remembered one more key hidden profit center we have not yet covered, and that is in communication. Communication, how our team talks. Put very simply, time spent talking, how our team talks, right? The Zoom meetings that we're in and the Slack channels that we have open and the constant emails that are flying around, how and where our team talks ends up consuming more profit than nearly anything else. Here's how. Put very simply, time spent talking is time not spent making you money, right? Time that your team is spending on a meeting trying to figure stuff out is time that they could otherwise have spent closing deals, upselling and retaining clients, doing the things that actually move the needle on revenue and growth. Again, time that you are paying for, but you're not getting an ROI on. So put very simply, how do we minimize the talk time? People have to talk. Meetings have to happen. People need to communicate. It is one of the necessary evils of running a team and running an organization. But how they talk, how efficiently they talk, how little they need to talk in order to get the right work done, that is entirely within our control. And again, the great news about this is that it costs you nothing to talk better. To run an unproductive meeting versus a highly productive meeting costs you nothing. We just need to know how to run that meeting slightly better. But just by learning that, we can cut that meeting in half and out of nowhere reclaim all of this free time or time that we've already paid for that now gets to be spent making our business money. So how does your team talk? How many hours are you spending in meetings? How many hours collectively is your team spending in Slack? And what are they saying? Like if we really look at it, what are they saying? What they're probably saying is, hey, where are we at with this? Hey, did you do that task? Hey, what's going on with that client? Hey, did we get that done for that client? It's all of this chatter that essentially boils down to what the heck is happening? What the heck is happening? And is the right work getting done? The very good news is that if we update our systems, all of that chatter goes away. It's literally unnecessary. It does not need to happen if we have the right systems that are automating that communication. So instead of me having to go to a teammate and say, hey, do this task, and then the next day follow up and say, hey, where are we at with this task? And then a week later say, hey, did you get that task to the client? Instead, the system, through the system, I can just assign a task and know that it will be done. And all of the additional communication that was going to happen around herding the cats and being like, where are we at with this? Where are we at with this? Did you do it on time? Is it done correctly? All of that disappears. And that's true for you. And that's true for every other member of your team. When we use our systems correctly, our talk time at least gets slashed in half. Half of all of the time spent on Slack, half of all of the meetings literally just disappear. And all of that communication gets automated through the system. And all of that time gets freed up to be put back to work doing the things that make your business money. So again, it costs us nothing. It costs us nothing to improve a system. It costs us nothing to run a meeting better. And yet, when we do these things for free, we make more money, more profit. So these are the key hidden profit centers inside of your business, inside of every business. Your leadership and time, your strategy, your data, your systems, your communication. By dialing in these foundational pillars within your business, what you unlock is profit. And what you unlock is a business where the day-to-day can start to run without you. So you get to free up more and more time while also seeing more and more profit come back to you. And isn't that the goal? That for fewer hours and more freedom, we get paid more for our effort. So where right now you might be feeling like you are working more and more to take home less and less, dialing in these operations, these hidden profit centers in your business is how we flip that. And now for working less and less, we actually get to get paid more and more. So out of these, one of them has come up as a recurring theme, and that's systems, right? The systems that drive our communication, the systems that free up our time, the systems that structure our team and make sure our team is working on the right things, the systems that drive our data. Systems is the key. It's the underlying thing that grows everything else. And for that reason, I've created an entire video. I call it the ultimate guide to building systems. You can check it out right there. And that is going to break down in more depth the exact systems that you need and how to build them in such a way that those systems can scale for you without you and as profitably as possible. Hit that like and subscribe button if this was helpful, and I'll see you over there.